Welcome to New Swarm. I'm your host Chris from the CHRILLCAST, and today, hopefully, this is the last update for the PS4 update 9.00 that we will have for a while. But this is what you guys voted for, so this is what I'm here to bring you. Here you go. Let's see here. New update from Sony on the PS4 9.00 updates. Took 51% of the vote here. We got what's next for Nintendo at 20%, so not so close second. Got Splitgate getting Forge Mode before Halo Infinite, that's 4%. Axiom Verge 2 getting a physical release, 14%. And then the last one, Xbox Series X and PS5 are being stacked, where 12% of you wanted that. So clearly this PS4 story takes the cake. You guys really want to know more about it. So I've got one more update to share with you all before we put this story to bed, unless Sony actually responds to the complaints on update 9.00 for the PS4, and or if they release a patch that actually takes care of all of these issues. Okay, so as I was scrolling through Twitter today, I accidentally stumbled upon this tweet right here by a user by the name @HugoSays. Sony is asking users to spend $100 in order to repair consoles that have been hard bricked by its own official updates, firmware v9.0. And what he's talking about is the 9.00 update we talked about the last couple days. Okay. So this article he's referencing here is from a website called tweaktown.com. It's the only website I can find that actually references this information. So if somebody could reach out to me and let me know if this is 100% valid and or is completely false, I would love to know. But I have some other information that kind of corroborates this. Okay, so Sony's official PlayStation 4 v9.00 firmware update is both soft and hard-breaking PS4 consoles, so you shouldn't download it. And I agree, if you're worried about this, don't update your PS4. Okay? Alright, so here we go. Sony just released the PS4's new v9.00 update alongside the PS5's big SSD expansion update, which allowed you essentially to put your own SSD internally in the PS5. Alright, so here we go. Multiple users on Reddit report that their base PS4s and PS4 Pros have stopped functioning. And the reason why they don't mention the Slims, although the Slims are affected to a lesser degree, is because it seems like the original PS4s and the PS4 Pros both got the short end of the stick when it comes to HDDs, and that seems to be one of the biggest reasons why this is happening, is because of bad sectors and bad hard disk drives. So let's just keep going with this. Let's see here. So others report the PS4 is blinking blue, which signifies some sort of hardware OS error. Reports that the console will not power on and do not work. That's your hard brick. And other people have gotten their systems to work with a hard reset. So if you have this weird situation where it's not powering on, at least try the old school IT method. Did you unplug it for a few minutes, then plug it back in? And the reason you have to unplug it for a little bit longer than normal is because for the first like 10 seconds or so, that power supply is still supplying power to the PS4 for a little bit of time after you unplug it. So if you plug it back in before that power supply finishes discharging, then you're essentially not resetting the PS4. And it's a little more technical than that, but that's the simplified version. If you unplug and plug it back in too fast, then the power supply could still be delivering power to the console, and therefore you do not actually hard reset the console by unplugging it. So when you unplug it, and they say wait 30 seconds, it's not some magical number. It's just long enough that they know the power supply is no longer delivering power to the unit, and therefore when you plug it back in, everything will get fired up anew, and you have a good chance of hard resetting the console. All right, that's short, semi-tech savvy explanation. Very simplified though. So other users are reporting significant slowdowns on the PS4 and PS4 Pro hardware, or consistent 35888 error codes. That's SU-42118. If you watched the video yesterday, you'll know that at least one of the users we referenced from Twitter was having that exact issue. And that prevents the update from being installed, which also prevents you from participating in the PlayStation Network, downloading games, and playing anything that requires digital verification to play, which basically makes the console unable to play anything other than disc-based media that requires no internet. All right, let's move on. General consensus for a solution is trying to install the update after a hard reset. Again, remember, unplug console for 30 seconds, plug it back in, and praying for the best. The most frustrating part is that gamers can't use their PS4 or PS4 Pros online without downloading the update. Sony will force users to update the latest firmware in order to connect to the Internet or PlayStation Store. So there you go. Now, here's the most concerning part here. A soft brick, yes, you can reverse it. You might lose your data like we discussed yesterday. And Sony, this is still not adequate. Making people reset their entire console back to essentially a base state similar to what they bought it at, where everything's erased. It's a clean system in order to get a brand new OS update. That's just unacceptable. It just shouldn't be happening. This PS4 is now 7-8 years old, and the platform itself has been evolving over that entire time. How can you release an update that yesterday the console worked just fine, and then today the console is totally foobarred? Like, it's totally screwed. You can't recover it without resetting everything. Remember, yesterday good, update, and now today no good. Okay, clearly there's a mismanagement here with the OS update that caused this mismatch that broke the filing system, broke the ability to connect PSN, and now we have to reset these consoles. And thankfully it didn't happen to me, but it seems like less and less people have been lucky as time goes on, because I keep seeing more and more comments as time goes through on these update videos we put out. So the more pressing issue here is when somebody has a hard bricked console. That means that somewhere in the hardware, this update somehow was so mismanaged that something in software firmware broke the console to a degree that you cannot recover it. That's called a hard brick. And I'm not sure how many times I've actually seen this happen. It's very uncommon that firmware or software can hard brick something to the point where it can't come back. I mean, these are people who had access and were able to play their PS4 yesterday, updated it, and now the console is done. And Sony is asking users who had this exact scenario happen to spend $100 in order to repair the consoles that have been hard bricked by an official Sony update. That just seems completely backwards. I understand that people would try to fraud the system if you just allowed, wholesale. Oh, my console got broke by blah. But Sony, you should be able to pull the hard drives off these consoles and it's, at the very least, be able to tell what OS is on them when it got bricked completely. It shouldn't be that hard to pull the data on the system settings or the console information off that hard drive and be able to tell, okay, this had the 9.0 update applied and now it's hard bricked. And just have like a couple months window, like, hey, if this happened within the month or two window of when the 9.0 update rolled out, file a case with Sony and then get a free new console repair, because clearly Sony messed this up. Now, the $100 seems reasonable in regards to what Sony would charge for this, considering that most repairs that you send to Sony usually cost $150. So 100 is not out of the realm of what I would expect Sony to charge for this. So if you were to call up Sony and said, hey, got the update, bricked my system, cannot recover it, what are you going to do for me? And they said, send it to us, $100, we'll replace it. It's not right. I mean, if my console worked yesterday, all right, I accepted the official update from Sony, and now here we are, and it doesn't work today. Hard brick. It will not recover. Sony needs to make up for this. They screwed this up. They broke my console, right? If I'm in that situation, they broke my console with their update. It's not like the console wasn't working on the previous update, and now it's not working, and you're still going to charge money. If I was on the phone with customer service, I would push to get this replaced by Sony. It should not cost $100. Maybe shipping. I would consider paying shipping. That's as much as I should be paying to get this fixed when Sony, their own update, bricked the console. Sony, we need to get through this, all right? If this is true and you're charging $100 for consoles that have been hard bricked, that's wrong. Soft brick can be fixed, albeit you're going to be losing some stuff. I really think that Sony should throw a bone to people that lost their game saves, their game files, and everything else because they had to fix the soft brick. But it's not unforgivable. It's just Sony needs to admit to the mistake they made here pushing out this update. But if you got a hard brick console from an OS update, man, that is not right. That is way out there. That shouldn't even be a possibility of happening. And if it does so happen to you, you should get a free replacement from Sony, regardless of how old the console is. It's not like yesterday your console's broken, you got the update, and it's still broken. No, you had a working console, update, hard brick broken. Sony should make up for that. Okay? Now, if you guys have anything else you want to add to this story, or if there's something I'm missing, please comment down below. If you like that we're covering the news, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and make sure you check out our live cast every Saturday. We have cool people on every single Saturday, and we discuss things like this in greater detail. 2 hours of us having a conversation with somebody about something. So anyways, as always, I'm Chris. I hope you guys have better luck than some of the people I've referenced with your PS4 updates, and hopefully Sony gets us an update and a fix very soon, because I'm sick and tired of covering this. It just seems to get more and more depressing. So this is the last one I'm doing on this, unless Sony puts out an official update and gives us something good to talk about. So as always, I'm Chris. Make sure you guys vote in the next news forum poll for the next topics, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, guys.